Hey yo, bro!
Alright, 10 minutes left, and I've already reached the hunger stage where I could even eat toast table.
Oh my, be patient, Arya. We just survived 12 hours anyways. 10 minutes is just a piece of cake. And anyways, I really love the ambience of this place. It reminds me the last day in my junior high. The restaurants were looking like this.
Is it? Talking about the last day of junior high school makes me miss those moments. What were your last day of high school felt like, Faidul?
Man, it was really incredible day. I clearly remember our graduation party. It was located at Pacific Hotels and so many parents were there. Oh, and I remember that in that party, I felt like a total boss, finally getting to wear a suit for the first time. I couldn't stop checking myself up in the mirror. Well, at our graduation party, all of my friends looked incredibly sharp in their suits. We just spent half the night just taking photos together to make sure we capture every moment. And after all the fun, we went around as a group to greet and say thank you to our teachers. It was such a bittersweet and awesome day. Definitely a core memory. And how about you, Ariel? I bet your last day of junior high might as well felt nostalgic.
Well, my last day of junior high school started with a final assembly. Usually, I'd be bored to listening to the principal's speech. But that morning, I actually listened. It felt like goodbye for real. After that, we went back to our classroom and spent the whole time uh, taking selfies, recording TikTok, and signing each other on uniform with the marker. The day ended with a bit of heavy heart. It was also one of the best days of my life. Junior high school gave me so many memories. Those memories will stay with me forever.
Wow, what a heart-wrenching stories. It kind of makes me tear up a little bit.
And that's on the example of the using of recount text. Now, Safa, can you tell me why is it called as recount text? Can the recount text actually be used at our daily conversation?
Of course, Fanny, the conversation earlier were called the recount text because it has the recount text structure in it, such as orientation series of events, reorientation. It also has the language feature of the recount text. What do you think it is, Fanny?
As far as I look into it, the conversation has some language feature as the adverb of time, using the simple past tense, adverb of place, and many others.
It makes me curious just by thinking of it. Let's ask our friends about the detail of this recount text set. What do you think, Fanny?
Of course, the broaden our knowledge, we need to learn the recount text deeply. We had our friends there to teach us. We're going on vacation to the next stage.
Ever had an amazing stories or experiences you just have to tell someone about? Well, if so, you're already a master of a recount text. Today, we're breaking down exactly on how to write one so your stories grab attention every single time. To simply put, a recount text is a piece of writing that retells past events or experiences, and its purpose is to inform or entertain the audience by sharing what happened, where it happened, and who was there. And to make your story flow, we use a specific skeleton or the structure. It's made out of 3 main parts. And what it is, it's basically just orientation, the series of events, and the reorientation. So first thing first, what is an orientation? So the orientation is the introduction of the stories, and it contains the who, when, and where, and also why of the stories. It basically sets the scene. After that, it contains the events of the generic structure. It's basically the core of the story. So it contains the sequence of what happened in the story and usually in a chronological order. And the last one, the reorientation. The reorientation is the conclusion of the story, and it's literally the summary or the personal feelings of the writer about the trip of a van. As for the example, we will break down the conversation Ariel and Fidel had in the earlier on this video. So let's break down the structure. The first thing first, the orientation. So the orientation is the part when Ariel said, "My last days of junior started with a final assembly. Usually I'd be bored, blah blah blah, but that morning I actually listened. It felt like a goodbye for real." So why it is the orientation one? Why is it not the others? So why it fits? Because this sets the who. So the who is the writer or the Ariel or the you and this are his schoolmates, and the when, that is the last days of the junior high school. Also for the last one, it sets the atmosphere, that the atmosphere is sentimental. The second part, the events. So the part when Ariel said taking selfies, TikToks, signing uniforms in the classroom. After that, he ate the bakso at the canteen and reminiscing the moment and saying the final goodbyes and hugging before going home. So it is the part of the events. And why is that? Those are the specific actions that is listed in the order about it happened. So it sets in the chronological order. And for the last step of the generic structure, the reorientation. The reorientation part is the day ended with a bit of heavy heart, but it was also one of the best days of my life. Those memories will stay with me forever. So that part contains the personal comment and the summary on how the Ariel experienced the moments or the experience is affected Ariel. So the part when it said, "It was also one of the best days of my life," that is the comment of the writer. That it really makes him memorable and stay with him forever. Now we're going on to Nadine, who will furtherly explain you about the recount text.
So now you know where to put your story apart. But how do you actually write them? Recount Text had their language features. So let's learn one by one. So the first, it's about recount text. Recount is about things that already happened. We use simple past tense. We aren't going to school, but we went because in simple past tense we use verb to. Verb to go is went, so we went to school. And then we aren't eating bakso, but we ate bakso. It uses regular and irregular verbs. The example, I listened to the principal. It's regular verbs because it's in regular verb we just put ed in the last verbs. So listen to the listener. And then we took a photo or we took a selfie. It's irregular verbs because the verbs is changed. Take in the verb so it's took, so we took a photo, not we take a photo. Number 2 is time connective. To stop your story from being a jumble mess, you need time connective. We use time connective to show the order from events. The first one is start. In the start, we can say like first, we can start with or in the morning, and then in the middle we can say and then next, shortly after, in the end we can say finally, in the end, or at the end. Number 3 is talk about adverbs of time and place. A great text is specific recount. So we use adverb to tell the audience about exactly when and where the things went down. In time, we can say in the morning, and then at the break time after 3 years, and then the place we can say like at the final assembly, in the canteen, at home, like that. Number 4 is action verbs. In this section, we use verbs to show the movement or activity to keep the audience engaged. We call it action verbs. Instead of just say it was fun, so we can say the verbs like plow, sign, recorded, gathered, or
So why do we tell stories? Is it just to fill the silence? Not quite. In the world of English writing, we call this social function. And today, we're looking at why we write recount text and the different forms they take. So everyone, the main goal of recount text is to retell event for the purpose of informing or entertaining the audience. To make it simple, to inform it means that you're giving the status report of what happened, like a school trip report, and to entertain it means that you're sharing the funny, sad, or exciting details to make your reader feel something, like your story about the final assembly. And the next one is the three main types of recount. Not all recounts are about your personal life. There are other types you need to know to widen your knowledge. The first one is personal recount. This is the most common one. It's based on your own experience. Example, the story earlier that talks about the graduation day. It's one of the example of personal recount. And for the key features, it uses the first person pronouns like I or we. The second one is factual recount. This is all about the facts. It records the particulars of an incident professionally. Example, a police report, a news headline about an accident, or a science lab report. And for the key features for factual recount is it's objective and focused on what happened rather than feelings. And the last one is imaginative recount. This one is the unique part. You could take on the fake characters and retell events that didn't actually happen to you. For example, writing a diary entry as if you were a soldier in World War II, or a pirate discovering an island. And for the key feature, it makes the recount structure with imaginary details.